Welcome back. You're here with Python, the Gold Grammar, and today I just wanted to begin with a very pertinent fact that relates to our subject matter. None other than Nicki Minaj herself dedicated an entire song and music video commemorating my own existence. Just thought you should know that. At any rate, today I want to discuss Cybrary, and I initially intended to do a compare and contrast with the Lambda school, but then I realized they don't focus on the exact same subjects, although of course there's a lot of overlap, as with anything else in IT. So perhaps at a later date we'll investigate my frat bro, Lambda. In any case, Cybrary is an online service where you can pursue free, and then of course some they charge you for, classes in cyber, IT, data science, and other subjects. More recently, this is one of the promotions they were running. I think it's since expired, but it gives you a sense. So if we go down here, you have cyber network security, threat intelligence, Kali Linux fundamentals as opposed to Kali Yuga fundamentals, and then of course Bill Gates 365. So none of this stuff is like, class A industry going to get you a great job, but for knowledge, if you're new and you're exploring, it can be positive. But even if you're more seasoned and you're attempting to flesh things out, or maybe your wife wants you to do that, or is demanding that you do that, no problem at all. In fact, I tell guys, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go in IT, make lots of money, and they have no clue what it entails. So they can spend a ton, hate the job, and then just be worse off. Go for what you can get for a very reasonable or actually free of charge, and then from there decide if you want to continue. Like anything else, it's what you put in you're going to take out. That seems cliche, but don't assume there's one universal path everyone's going to take. Not exactly. Okay. If we look at the BLS, cyber jobs don't look to be in terrible shape. Lots of growth, decent salaries. I have heard of guys in cyber without much experience getting 125, 130, but that is context specific, so do not chase the salary number. Make sure you want to do the job. Some dudes are going to be great at programming, others will suck. Some people might want to do like the system admin, or still more would get into cyber policy as opposed to the cyber forensics. Look at what what drives you, what you're interested in, and go by that. That's just be my piece of advice. So if we get into Cybrary and there's this obnoxious pop-up which there's no little check mark box to click it off, I suppose if my cyber skills were more refined it wouldn't be an issue. But I'll just refresh, which is one way to solve problems. If we go up here to browse, which I guess is outside of the frame, they've got different categories: cyber, IT, cloud, data science, DevSecOps, and you see a number of the courses there. Cyber, or rather Security Plus, is one that I got. I did the Daryl Gibson book. I just studied without a course. It was kind of a pain, I'm not going to lie, but I was able to pass. The only thing his book does not include is information on the practicals, so you should look online for those. I've tried to do the same with CEH, but the book was just filled with all this minutia about the guy's life that had nothing to do with it, and then he pretty much admits, well, this is not enough to pass the test. You actually, if you don't have the requisite experience, I think you have to do like you have to do a more expensive course, which I'm going to look at perhaps next year. But in any case, let's go back here. For Security Plus, it's a 48-hour course, and they advertise it like it's the certification, but of course that's not how it works. It's a practice test at the end. You're still going to have to go out and take the exam on your own. I wish that you could just take online classes and get the certs. It might make more sense, arguably, even if it was more expensive, but then how would CompTIA and other companies make their money? They do say if you are enrolled with them, you have a subscription for Cybrary, you'll get a discount on the voucher to take the test, which I think is from like $330 down to $296. That's what I saw. Alternatively, there is this option, get certified for less. That's what I used, and they're basically vouchers that are closer to expiry that can potentially save you a lot of money. But make sure that you're ready to take the class, because you don't want to just shell out funds, because they are kind of pricey. And Cybrary also has a CISP course, which is 19 hours. I'm curious how effective this one is, because CISP is legendary in difficulty. I find it hard to believe that that would be enough on its own. You probably need experience as well. But at this stage, you would say, well, what's the cost? So if you just want free access, it's free. Imagine that. And then a subscription. Now this changed. I think they were running a sale, because this was like $22, this was $29. But in any case, for 1 year, $400, or you can pay $49 a month, which is basically the same as Coursera, and a little bit cheaper than Udacity, a little bit cheaper than, or much cheaper than Thinkful. So yeah, I would say honestly, even if you went month to month, you go do it for 3 months, maybe you spend $150. If you decide you don't want to do it anymore, you're only out $150. You haven't enrolled in the full college program, gotten bad grades on your record or whatnot. That's a much better option. And it's the advantage of IT that you don't need a huge amount of education to get in, but you just have to be willing to learn. So honestly, Cybrary, I would definitely advise checking it out. It's not in of itself going to be enough, but if you combine it with maybe getting the actual professional certificates, pursuing some kind of experience, even if it's volunteer-based experience, being a webmaster for some group, that can be a good path to take. Like anything else, look into the details. You can contact people on LinkedIn if you want. You can watch YouTube videos. Don't just say, this is going to be my career, and have no concept of what goes into it, because that could just make you miserable, and it's better to be happy.